Dear Space by Matthew Dickman. The woman I love has gone to bed early, so I can be alone in the living room, alone in the manic universe of August, just me arranging and rearranging the books, like someone packing and repacking their parachute, only I'm not jumping. Only maybe the books are not what's saving me anymore. Maybe now is reruns of the Donna Reed Show, or the Marx Brothers, or movies about people who are funny all the time. I keep watching the same rap video on YouTube about the stacks of money and what's going to happen. Outside, it has just begun to cool down, so I can take a walk if I want. See if there's a moon somewhere above the movie theater. Some summer stars up there. Some planet to go with the grass I'll lie on next to the school. A big field where someone is asleep or passed out. Where a dog overcomes a dead bird. Just half a bird now, but real in the cool, dark green, motionless at the foot of the chain link fence. If I were to go out and find that bird, I would want to sit down next to it and give it a name. I would want to gather up some sticks and make a house for it to live in while it's being dead. I would want to sit there all night. And that's why I'm only going to open a window. Open all my windows. So if it wants to, it can come here and fall asleep in my lap. I'm sitting in the middle of the room with a blanket over my head and some letters I would like to write. Dear love. Dear motherfucker. Dear heart. Dear space. I want to write, dear space. I can't seem to live the way I should, without loneliness, without passing out. I keep wishing I knew more about supernovas, that I had some of your dark energy, your dark matter. I wonder if you're expanding or cooling, or what it will look like when you turn your back toward your own beginning. What fire, what ice. What will you invent out there that Hollywood hasn't already encoded onto a disc, already built in a garage off Sunset? But space will never write back. Neither will love or real motherfuckers. So I should just stand up, grab my shoes, walk to the field and sit down in the grass. I wouldn't be alone. A small breeze making her wings lift. Some starlight through a pine making her shimmer. The Madness of King George by Matthew Dickman. It's time for me to go. I drink a beer and a whiskey, though I should be sipping Italian sodas. Should be home watching an old movie or reading a crime novel, but I decided to feed my limitations instead. The woman sitting next to me calls herself Summer and keeps touching her lips and scratching her thigh and ordering a martini and talking about history. George Washington and the madness of King George. He would walk around the palace garden wearing nothing but his crown, crying, holding his gaudy scepter in his hands like an infant. I am like him, I thought, and asked for my bill, while this other person, This other life puts her hand on my knee. Do you ever think about what would have happened if Germany won the war? She says. Street signs in 2 languages. The Jews really gone, and the Mormons too. Oktoberfest everywhere. I can see the line her underwear makes beneath the gray silk. I can see the wash of freckles on her shoulders. This is what loneliness is all about. A table full of bread and wine, and you starving but unable to eat or drink. I think Amelia Earhart is alive and living in Florida. There are pictures of her walking on the beach. She and Elvis and the Kennedy brothers. I am peering out of my own grave, I think, and pay my tab. I put my coat on, and Summer is sliding her long index finger around the rim of her glass, and then licking it. This economy, she says, the price of gas, is almost like we're living in wartime. I am closing my wallet. I am stepping away from the bar, looking at her, stranger now than when we met an hour ago, when I first noticed her neck, her breasts. But we are, I say, we are living in wartime. And then her finger stops, and she looks up at me and says, "Oh, I know. But I mean really, really at war. You know, like here, where you and I are." Satellite, Matthew Dickman. I'm sitting beneath the bent live oak, wishing the plane blinking above me was a satellite that would shoot images of my older brother back down into my brain so I could print them out and paste them on the wall. I have to keep looking at this one picture of him to remember how his jaw was and which side of the moon he parted his hair. He's always away from me now. Some animal or constellation that walked out of the world, but for rumors and half-skeletons found in the Congo, drawings of what they might have looked like. My brain dreams about cities from outer space, a place with a name like Kilimanjaro, where he might still be walking around in his Vision streetwear high tops, or even a shadow, like my father, who talked about Costco the night of my brother's cremation, and how pumpkin-y the pumpkin pie was, though we bought it in a frozen pack of 20. Just like a real bakery, he said. You just throw it in the oven. He kept saying that. You just throw it in the oven. You just throw it in the oven.